Hi, my name's Lance Piccioni and I'm the CEO and founder of the Love Me Love You Foundation. The reason I started the foundation was to help people understand that they don't have to go through what I have. We try to create change and make a difference to people's lives by creating opportunity of understanding and inclusiveness and support to make sure that they can get to the other side, whatever that side looks like. Our mantra at Love Me Love You is never alone. You've got to walk this path and have people be able to walk that path with you. We create that understanding and connection, we'll all move forward together.
Look in the face of darkness, never give up. A call to the broken hearted, to say not to be disheartened. And look in the face of darkness, never give up. You feel like you're
So my daughter obviously has attempted suicide. I've actually lost count.
So I lost an uncle when I was 19 and a stepfather 6 years ago.
I started working with high school students who presented with a lot of self-harm and suicidal ideation.
It's probably one of the hardest things I ever had to do was to tell him that his dad had died.
I lost my girlfriend at the time to suicide about 6 years ago now. So I was in high school, kind of in year 12.
Dad died when I was 10 and Jay we lost in 2016. They were both in their early 30s and they both took their own lives in the exact same spot.
My mother committed suicide when I was 22. So that, it's been 22 years now since then, and that's had a huge impact on my life.
It's been 11 years since just on 11 years since I actually got the help that I needed. But it feels like yesterday.
It's hard because a lot of what she goes through is not always a choice. You realise the fragility of life as well as the strength of life, that can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye.
This student felt comfortable enough to tell me that they were going to end their life, and unfortunately within a week after communicating that message to the relevant people, that student unfortunately ended their life.
It's still something that I think about almost every day. And when I was feeling really down and just struggling with everything, I knew that I had friends and family that I could talk to, reaching out to them, chatting with them about it, and knowing that I was never alone.
But just having someone there who's there, no matter what. No questions asked, no judgment, just I am here and I'm here for you. That's it. And I often say this, she didn't go to a shop and choose, I'm going to have this illness, and this illness. It wasn't a choice. It's just something she has, and it's something that we live with and will work through.
It's hard, but you can get through it. And there's so many people and services out there that you can utilise to help you overcome challenges like this. To think that even in my darkest times, if I'm able to have the strength to hold on for the people that mean the most to me, it truly indicates just how strong and challenging mental illness can be for those that sometimes that isn't enough.
To open up with each other, and when we're feeling vulnerable, when we're feeling sad, when we're feeling upset, when we're feeling broken, I guess just to have those conversations and just to share those feelings and make those feelings, I guess, as much as a part of our daily conversations, as much of a part of our connection with each other as the good stuff, so that we realise that whatever we're going through, we're all going through it together.
I'm proud of everything she does. Yeah, proud that she's here. Proud that she's allowed me to talk about this, because that's not easy. Hearing and seeing someone vulnerable and upset about, what she goes through. It's not easy, and I'm proud that she was okay with me telling a bit of my story in the hope that it might help one other person get through their journey?
Love Me Love You means everything. It's as I said, I had suicidal thoughts for a long, for close to 10 years of my life. But I didn't know how to go through with it because I just didn't know what it meant.
When the news came that he'd passed, it was a mixed bag of emotions for me. It was, am I angry, or am I sad, or am I disappointed, or, what am I supposed to do now? And of that generation where when you struggle in silence, you're too staunch to go and see someone or get any help.
I felt that during that time he was just treated as a number, thinking, why is it so hard in our day and age, like now, for us with all of, the things available, why can't we help more people? Why are so many more people, and especially men, suffering from suicide? What are we doing wrong?
You gotta learn to feel shit emotions as much as you want to feel good emotions all the time. The most important thing I've learned in my 42 years is treat the shit emotions with as much respect and dignity as you do the positive emotions, because the positive emotions aren't positive without the negative ones. And if you learn to experience the lows and take them for what they are, the highs are so much better.
I think a lot of the times people that are suffering mental health don't get an opportunity to talk more openly. I think they're probably struck with people telling them what to do. So I've probably learnt to listen more, and I couldn't tell the person if someone was in front of me saying that they wanted to die. So easy to say, don't do it. We need you here, we love you, everyone wants you, someone that needs you.
It's always been this view of, you can't be too close to your feelings, like that's what the girls do. You got to be the leader, you got to be the provider, you got to be the hunter, you got to be the guy that goes to war, you've got to be impermeable. And I think it's really just about building that reassurance that you don't have to be all the time.
Create more understandings around, empathy, slowing down, being with who you need to be with, when you need to be with them. I just want to hear that you've got me.
I found out at 5 o'clock of an afternoon, and I spent that evening Googling. I was Googling stuff because I didn't know what to say. Do I use the word suicide? What do I say? What don't I say? I explained to him that Daddy had had lots of slow days, which was a language we'd always used in our family, and that all the slow days had gathered up together and Daddy had made a choice to die, and that was called suicide.
And I think even for my mum, she reached out to psychologists and she didn't get a lot of support. She got pushed away. She would spend time in mental health hospitals, and then I don't think people were equipped to deal with what she was going through, and she would end up checking herself out. Back then, like this was 22 years ago, it was not socially acceptable, suicide. I kind of was ashamed, more so I didn't talk to anyone about it.
I cry in the car a lot on my way to work and on my way home. Sometimes I feel like I've got it all together, and then other times I just don't. So I reached out to 2 particular people in my life and asked if they would just be people that I could just be truthful with and be honest and not have to justify or explain how I'm feeling or why. And those 2 people became people that listened a lot. They cried with me, they came over when they could. We created community, and they have held me in that place of honesty and talking about Matt and reminiscing. And when those triggers come up, I think that's the part that I struggle with. I think in my mind sometimes I'm like, I've got this.
You know, the therapy, the learning how to manage better. I've got it. And I've done a whole week, you know, a whole week of not crying in the car.
We need to slow down. We need to linger with people longer. We need to learn more about listening.
You know, the gift of slowing down brings more connection with people. I think the loneliness part, you know, there's little glimpses of understanding that you have even between strangers. I think it's important. I think that's about being human.
I want to break the cycle, like the trauma. The trauma keeps going. You've got to deal with it, and you've got to break the cycle. And you've got to heal. It doesn't just go away. You have to heal.
Love Me, Love You, what we want to do and what I would like to do, and everyone from the organisation would like to do, is give people the confidence to have conversations and get people to the support they need to get to. Our point of difference is we're not the answer, I believe. A lot of people go into the mental health space because they're the answer. They've got everything that will fix you. But we're not trying to fix people, we're actually helping people understand how they fix themselves. And I think that reality of connection, of lived experience, which a lot of other organisations and people have with their values and their passions. And the reason why you get into this space, the mental health space, because you've got a level of lived experience and you're passionate about it, 100%. You need to drive that because the work that comes with it is extremely hard. Our point of difference is we want to help create opportunity for people to be their own answer.